Child development and state of children in India. Child development. Meaning of child development. Child development refers to the process through which children grow and acquire various skills and abilities in a sequential manner. This includes physical, cognitive, emotional, social, and moral development from infancy through adolescence. It is a continuous, dynamic, and complex process influenced by genetic, environmental, and cultural factors. B. Philosophy of child development. The philosophy of child development centers around the belief that every child has the potential to grow and learn, provided the right environment and support. Key ideas include naturalism, e.g., Rousseau emphasizes child-centered learning and development according to nature. Constructivism, e.g., Piaget children construct knowledge through interaction with their environment. Humanism, e.g., Montessori focuses on the whole child, intellectual, emotional, physical, and social. Behaviorism, e.g., Skinner behavior is learned through interaction with the environment. Philosophically, child development encourages respecting children's individuality, nurturing innate potential, and providing meaningful learning experiences. C. Factors affecting child development. Several interrelated factors influence child development. Biological factors, genetics, brain development, health conditions. Environmental factors, home environment, neighborhood, cultural practices. Socioeconomic status, income level, parental education, and occupation. Nutrition and health, quality of diet, access to healthcare. Parenting style, authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, or neglectful parenting. Education, quality of early childhood education and exposure to learning. Peer influence, social interaction and peer relationships. Media and technology, exposure to digital content and screen time. D. Principles of child development. Development is continuous and orderly. Development is predictable. Follows a general sequence. Rate of development varies among children. Development proceeds from general to specific, e.g., gross to fine motor skills. Development is interrelated, physical, cognitive, emotional domains are connected. Development is influenced by maturation and learning. Early development has a lasting impact, early experiences shape later outcomes. E. Historical context of child development. Historically, child development was not always viewed as important. Key developments include pre-17th century, children were seen as miniature adults. 18th century, Rousseau emphasized natural development. 19th century, emergence of psychology as a discipline, interest in childhood stages. 20th century, scientific study of child development grew, Freud, Piaget, Erikson. Modern era, interdisciplinary approach involving psychology, education, sociology, and health. F. Stages of child development. 1. Jean Piaget's cognitive development stages. Sensor-motor stage, birth to 2 years. Infants learn through sensory experiences and motor actions. Object permanence, understanding that objects exist even when not seen, develops. Pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years. Children begin using language and symbols to represent objects. Thinking is egocentric, imagination and pretend play increase. Logical reasoning is still limited. Concrete operational stage, 7 to 11 years. Children develop logical thinking about concrete events. They understand concepts such as conservation, quantity remains the same despite shape change, and classification. Formal operational stage, 11 years and older. Adolescents develop the ability to think abstractly and hypothetically. Problem-solving and deductive reasoning skills become more advanced. 2. Erikson's psychosocial stages of development. Trust versus mistrust, infancy. The infant learns to trust caregivers based on the consistency of care. Successful resolution leads to a sense of security and optimism. Autonomy versus shame and doubt, toddlerhood. The child begins to assert independence and make choices. Encouragement fosters confidence, criticism may lead to shame and doubt. Initiative versus guilt, preschool. The child explores the environment and initiates activities. Positive reinforcement develops initiative, restriction may cause guilt. Industry versus inferiority, young adolescent. The child strives for competence and success in school and social activities. Support leads to a sense of achievement, failure may result in feelings of inferiority. Identity versus role confusion, adolescence. The adolescent seeks to form a personal identity and direction in life. A clear sense of self leads to stability, confusion may cause insecurity. Intimacy versus isolation, young adulthood. The young adult seeks meaningful relationships and emotional intimacy. Success fosters love and companionship, failure may lead to isolation. Generativity versus stagnation, middle adulthood. The individual focuses on contributing to family, work, and society. Productivity leads to a sense of purpose, lack of involvement causes stagnation. Ego integrity versus despair, old age. The individual reflects on life and evaluates its meaning. Acceptance brings wisdom and peace, regret may lead to despair. State of children in India. Children in India represent a significant segment of the population and are central to the country's development. While progress has been made in health, education, and rights protection, numerous challenges remain. This section highlights key areas concerning the condition of children in India. A demographic profile. Children, 0 to 18 years, constitute approximately 37% of India's total population. The child population, 0 to 14 years, alone makes up nearly 26% of the population, as per census and NFHS data. There is a marginal decline in the child-sex ratio, with 919 girls per 1,000 boys, census 2011. Urban-rural and interstate disparities exist in access to healthcare, education, and protection services. B. Child protection. Child protection involves safeguarding children from abuse, exploitation, neglect, and violence. The Integrated Child Protection Scheme, ICPS, and Juvenile Justice Act provide the legal and institutional framework. Issues such as trafficking, child marriage, and child labor still persist despite existing laws. Mechanisms like Child Welfare Committees, CWCs, Childline 1098, and District Child Protection Units, DCPUs, are active but under-resourced. See child labor. According to the 2011 census, 10.1 million children, 5 to 14 years, were engaged in labor. Major sectors: agriculture, construction, manufacturing, especially garments, fireworks, and domestic work. Child Labor, Prohibition and Regulation Act, amended in 2016, bans employment of children under 14 and restricts adolescents, 14 to 18, from hazardous jobs. Despite legislation, informal and hidden labor continues to be a problem, especially in urban slums and rural areas. Domestic work. Thousands of children, especially girls, are employed in domestic households, performing chores, caring for infants, and sometimes facing abuse and exploitation. Domestic work is often invisible and unregulated. These children are excluded from school, social protection, and development opportunities. Government and NGOs have tried to intervene, but identification and rehabilitation remain weak. Violence/crime against children. Crimes against children have shown an increasing trend over the years. Common crimes include sexual abuse, kidnapping, trafficking, physical abuse, and neglect. As per NCRB, 2021, over 1.5 lakh crimes were recorded against children. The Protection of Children from Sexual Offenses, POCSO, Act, 2012 addresses sexual abuse but faces challenges in implementation due to stigma and delays in the justice system. Missing children. Thousands of children go missing each year due to trafficking, kidnapping, and family-related issues. Missing children are vulnerable to abuse, bonded labor, organ trafficking, and sexual exploitation. The Track Child portal, maintained by the Ministry of Women and Child Development, helps trace and rescue children. NGOs play a vital role in rescue, rehabilitation, and legal aid. Child marriage. Despite laws like the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, 2006, the practice continues in some regions, especially in rural and tribal areas. According to NFHS 5, 2019-21, around 23% of women aged 20 to 24 years were married before 18. Child marriage impacts health, education, and autonomy, especially of girls, leading to early pregnancies and domestic violence. Awareness campaigns and conditional cash transfer schemes like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao aim to reduce incidents. Child education. 1. Literacy rate. The literacy rate among children aged 7 to 14 is around 91%. Gender disparities persist, with girls in rural and marginalized communities at a disadvantage. 2. Pupil-teacher ratio, PTR. The national average PTR at the primary level is approximately 26:1, which is within the Right to Education, RTE, Act norm of 30:1. Rural and government schools often face teacher shortages, affecting quality. 3. Gross enrollment ratio, GER. GER at primary level, classes IIV, is around 104%, showing high enrollment including underage and overage children. GER for secondary, classes 9EX, is lower, indicating dropouts and reduced continuation. 4. Average dropout rate. Dropout rates have reduced but remain concerning. Primary level, 1.5%. Upper primary, 3%. Secondary level, 14%. Reasons include poverty, child labor, early marriage, lack of interest, and poor infrastructure.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in next video.